they sit, I think we also might have a special guest. Do we? We're about to find out if we do or don't.
Hey!
Hey!
Yeah, you can see us.
You can see us?
Sure, could
You.
Oh.
I see my own ugly mug, but I can't see you.
Oh.
Fantastic. You can see everyone else, but
There you go. That's better. Now I can see you.
My favorite part thus far of today was standing backstage with these guys watching the footage and the previews of the upcoming episodes and them like freaking out the way you guys were freaking out. It was great.
Yeah.
amazing. Hell yeah!
We're jumping on in. Everyone in this room is a fan of the Orville, and I'm so curious, for fans, what do you think they would be surprised to learn about the actual making of the show?
That we don't see how dope that is when we shoot it. We're just sort of in our own little sort of bubbles and pockets, and then the post-production and the music and all that comes together.
You get to see it like you get to see it.
Yeah.
We're big fans too.
Every episode, green screens. Every episode has a different world that we end up getting to see, and it's just as exciting for us to kind of see the world that we're living in and we're acting in for so long.
Yeah, you know what I think people would probably find fascinating. I know it sounds kind of weird, but our eyeline situation. Like,
Yeah.
we have different tape marks all over for different characters, and his eyeline is different than mine.
That's what I was just saying.
It's a weird thing, but I feel like unless you're on the bridge or on the set with us, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I said that to Peter just now backstage. I said, look at him, look at that X. Man, look at that X.
I'm like, okay, Borges is here, and Sean's over here, and I'm looking at them. Right, rednecks.
Penny just said backstage after we watched that, she was like, gosh, I want to be in this show. That's how we kind of feel sometimes, because it's such a surprise when we see it.
Look pretty nifty.
I hope that answers the questions if you're going to see the Pterodon fighter again.
I want to see Clyde in a jet fighter. I do.
I'm not sure if Seth wants to chime in. It's hard because I don't see him. Well, you know.
There he is.
Oh, you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, one thing that people might find interesting is that, we shoot the whole, so in this case, we shot the whole season at once. So, say the first half of the day, we may be shooting episode 2, the second half of the day, we may be shooting episode 5. The most extreme example of this is something that I know Tom has tweeted about, and I've mentioned as well. Was in the this week's episode with the great Dolly Parton. It was during the height of COVID, so obviously everyone was in their own cities, and we built the cabin set and basically cut it in half. So half of it went to Nashville for Dolly, and the other half was in LA for us, so we could shoot Rena Owen. Rena flew to Nashville with us to do her scenes with Dolly, but there was really only time to do that, so we flew back to LA and shot Evina's half of the scene with the double for the back of Dolly's head, and essentially blended the two together. So when you watch that scene, you're seeing two actors perform a great distance apart from each other, and it's amazing how seamlessly it came together.
Yes.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that exact thing.
All of us.
So,
I wish I met Dolly.
there's a little bit of an echo, I don't know if you guys, but as going into, there's going to be fans out there or people who have never seen the Orville before, and know that the Orville New Horizons, Honolulu, Season 3, are there certain episodes that people need to watch if they've never seen the show before, but can start with New Horizons?
All of them.
I can give you a list. I can give you a list if you want.
Oh, good. Go for it.
Tom Costantino, please. please pipe in because as my conscience.
Oh, I think, you start, I'll fill you in.
You probably want to watch About a Girl, Majority Rule, Identity Parts 1 and 2. Let's see, Mad Idolatry.
Yeah, Mad Idolatry, let me see the finale.
Nothing Left on Earth Excepting Fishes.
Probably a Happy Refrain.
Happy Refrain.
Okay, Seth, that would be everything.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, yeah.
Which one shouldn't they watch? That's
I'm going to move on to the next thing, and so I'm going to read a little of this to make sure I do this right. And I really want to know everyone's answer to this. In a recent episode, Scott Grimes' character, Gordon Malloy, was stuck in the past. Great episode.
By the way, Scott Graham is actually more correct.
Oh, I like messing up. It's good. It started a family, 10 years ago, started a family. Captain Mercer and Kelly Grayson followed union rules, went back in time to bring Gordon back and erase the alternate timeline. For everyone, do you personally agree with the captain's decision, or do you think he should have brought Gordon and his family to the future and risked the timeline?
Say it again.
You want me to pipe in here?
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, my apologies. I would so love to be there, guys. I'm prepping this tip.
Yeah, you love it.
Otherwise, I would be there in person. But please enjoy that too. It's going to be very good. Yeah, you know, I follow a lot of what people say on social media and a lot of what they respond to. And there's a lot of, you know, why the hell did they have to? There's two things are worth answering. Why couldn't they bring Gordon back? Well, the one thing I haven't seen anyone mention is that when Gordon went back, you know, as you recall in Lasting Impressions last season, Laura was with this guy, Greg. Presumably, she had a family with that guy. So Gordon coming in kind of wiped out that timeline and whatever family, whatever children she would have had with Greg. So really, when and Kelly and the crew and Talent come in, they're really restoring this timeline that probably occurred. Now the other question is, why wouldn't they just walk out and leave Gordon ignorant of his fate? Earlier in the episode, we established that time travel is, of course, in all of sci-fi, time travel is very dangerous, but somehow you always get it done. And so it would have been an easier and safer thing to just pluck Gordon out. So I think what their intention was to kind of guilt him into coming with them so they didn't have to take that risk. So that was kind of the logic behind all that.
And I'm gonna jump in. I'll tell you, this is Jay Lee. If I fall in love and I get trapped on a planet and I got a family, y'all come back and try to plug me, I'm blasted. Stay back. Hey, back. Listen.
we have to do that over and over and over again.
I don't care. I got one of the bases, they unlimited. Blah, blah, blah.
Your families on the planets of the universe.
But I do get why we went back together.
I think the emotionally hardest things on TV are sometimes the ones we want to watch. So I agree that he should have been brought back, but not with his family.
No, I would absolutely say for the greater good of the many, because it would be for one family, but the possibility, the negative ramifications could affect millions of people. So if you don't take that risk, that's my thing.
I agree. I would run back because I think for every change that you make in the past, you are essentially affecting initially 400 other people, and then that 400 people would be affecting, potentially 400 each. So then there would be things that are now in the future that are present, that are working, that would never happen.
Well, could you potentially put Scotty, like the egg salad sandwich, could you potentially, put Gordon Malloy forward and have Gordon, 3 months in the future, like the egg salad sandwich, have that Gordon, and then we leave the Gordon in 220, whatever, behind.
Peter Megan texts me at 4:30 in the morning, not at...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm testing the boundaries of quantum physics, texting the 4:30 party. Are you awake? Are you up? Hey, what you doing? What you thinking about? You writing? You playing Scrabble by yourself? What you doing, Sam? Now you can voice text, and that's what I do now. I said, good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
I'm going to throw...
What day is it?
I was going to say, let's throw a question for the producers. Can you sort of talk about what went into the name because now it's the Orville New Horizons. I'm just curious what went into the name change, and also, what did the move to Hulu do for the show?
Well, New Horizons, the idea of adding a subtitle was actually my boss, Dana Walden at Disney, suggested, this thing has made a real uptick in scope and in quality and gravitas. Why not add a subtitle? I thought it was kind of a cool idea. New Horizons was kind of the first idea that we all came up with. The move to Hulu, first of all, I cannot say enough good things about Hulu. These are just some of the things that we can do together. Marketing division all the way to operations, they've just been amazing, and they've really taken care of the show. The thing that really made a difference to me was just pace. If you shoot a movie and you want to linger on an actor's face or linger on an emotional moment, you have that time within reason. With broadcast television, even with all the money in the world, you're really locked into that 43 minutes. You're still cutting for the fabric softener commercial. And so you may have a scene that just plays great and has emotional resonance and makes you feel something, and you still got to cut 3 minutes out of it. And that just got really frustrating with all the work that we were putting in. That was really the main reason that this move, I think, was right for our show.
You guys like it on Hulu?
Kenny, that was very suggestive.
Yeah, I'm just ask again.
Hey, baby.
No one was gonna say no the way you asked them.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it anymore. Please stop. No. You like it on Hulu, don't you, baby?
For everyone, I'm curious, which scene or sequence ended up being the real pain in the A because of whatever reason? Can you share?
I think it was the dance sequence. It was. Because we were all coming back from COVID, and we were wearing those masks, and we had to rehearse, and then we had to pull away and let the choreographers show us what to do, and people didn't know how long they could touch you or how close they could come to you. So that was a pain in the butt.
I'm sorry.
Do you have anything to say about this?
I can't tell you. Just, okay, picture 9,000 feet above sea level. Picture,
We can't tell you.
full rubber bus. 4 hours of application.
We can only tease it. He's teasing you right now.
5 a.m. call, 9,000 feet above sea level. That's all, I'll leave it at that.
That's all we can give you. That's all we can give you.
I will say from a production standpoint, I think the mock-in courtroom scene with Topa having to go back, thank God Brian is a great director. We had all these dailies to go back into and sort of recreate that whole thing seamlessly. I think that was probably the most challenging, but also the most rewarding, and also kind of the longest gestation time too.
There was a day where I had just, no, I wasn't naked, but I had pages of science techno battle. And I remember before we started shooting set, he was like, yeah, sorry, man. So, I had all these speeches about,
Jaylee, my heart beats for you. I have to do it all on set first.
Hey, question. I know it's a competition.
No, but I agree. It's not. It's very
No,
not.
it's
Play nice, play nice.
Jessica and Annie, I'd like to hear some answers.
Yeah, you know, everyone always asks about my hair and makeup process because it's long and it's from the eyelids up, the wig and the ears and the nose. But honestly, I think everyone here could attest to this too, is I fall asleep in the makeup chair while they put everything on, so I like get 2 extra hours of sleep. And as long, our days might have been long, and we always like kind of make fun of going on the bridge, but like, I miss going on the bridge now. You know what I mean? Like, we all have so much fun doing this show and what the storylines that we get to bring to life and bring to the screen for you guys and for us to learn from and shine light on certain things is a really beautiful, beautiful thing. And yeah, I mean, it's like anything we do. Some days you go to work and you're like, oh wow, I want to sleep in today. You know, we all have that. But at the end of the day, we get to do something that we love. We get to work with amazing writers and producers and directors and get to tell stories that touch people, we hope. So I don't, of course there's probably been days where I'm like, oh, you know, that was a pain, but at the end of the day, there's so much good on this show and we have such an amazing cast and we all have so much fun and feed off each other. Like, coming here and having to do press all day with these guys is like, I'm like, I can't believe this is my job. This is insane because it's so fun. So, all in all, I know you probably wanted some like dirt or me to be like, this is shitty, but we just have a really good time and we hope that you guys
No,
are.
I'll take care of it. I got it. I'll give you the Inquirer version. No,
I mean, I'm
totally joking. I know you are. And
Locations can be difficult because we go to a lot of planets that have a Southern California climate. And if you're wearing prosthetics or a suit or whatever, it's really hot. But it's always fun. It's always fun.
no, Peter, you know it's hot as hell in those suits. We're outside.
Before, but I don't know if you know what it's like to have ants crawling in your ears. It's the greatest feeling in the world. And yeah, that's happened.
Wait, Peter, you have to explain to everyone. So, with his head, Mortis's head, he took it off.
You love the story, Seth. I'm going to tell it just for you.
I do love this story.
Please just let me tell them. They have to know the actual story.
So I
Peter.
think it's like what, June, July, like Los Angeles gets inundated with like these red ants that just show up in your peanut butter, in your laundry, in your socks, on your soap dish. And you know, Bortus's head, you know, they split me open to the white meat, as it were, and you know, so my head can breathe.
So there can get some air in there, yeah.
And they put some popsicle sticks, you know, so like then they can send me away to my.
He's not joking, it's popsicle sticks to keep it open.
Yeah, and so I can, like, my brain can breathe. I don't know what that even means, but and send me away to go to sleep for an hour for lunch because I can't clearly go to Starbucks or trailer. Just go there, we'll bring you some food, we'll bring you a tuna sandwich in a minute. And just go to sleep and then come out and like boop 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 boop. We're meeting on set, set's ready to go. Let's go, number, let's go. And then glue me back up and you walk up the stairs and you get on the ship and you get on the bridge and you get the uniform on and everything is great and perfect and we're like, okay, team, the number one team, let's go. And then there's like, what is that? What is this? So, like, you know, and then when once it crawls in your ear, you're like, oh, these are ants inside, glued inside.
That's in Mortis's head.
Nobody, not 200 people around me, nobody is having this experience but me. But I'm a team player. So let's get the shot, and I'm just gonna bang my head on the wall. What's wrong with Peter? He's just method actor, is a Peter guy. And then he's like ready for the battle scene. Like it had ants literally on the brain. And I will never forget that. But hey, that was just one day. That just only happened one time.
Do you guys know what's really funny? I had only worked in the very beginning with Peter as Mortis, so I never saw him outside of Mortis.
That was fun. Who are you, sir?
And then I'm walking to my car on the Fox lot one day, and I'm
like, he's like, night, Jess. And I'm like, night. Never saw that dude in my life. He's a very handsome, perfect look.
Yeah, my name's sir.
I'm like, it's Peter. I'm like, Bordis?
No, my name's Peter.
This was like weeks after. And now it's so wild.
Can I get an omelet? I'm sorry, background is over there, sir. I'm sorry, this is season 2. Are you new here too? My name's Peter, I play Bordis. I got a parking space with my name on it. Please have an omelet.
I'm gonna jump in and say,
Please do.
Tom and Brandon, talk a little bit. One of the things that's really impressed me about the move to Hulu is the VFX. Everything seems really amped up in New Horizons. And I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about the VFX and pulling off what you're doing on Hulu, and also the editing, because the editing obviously is the final rewrite. It's where it comes together. Can you sort of talk a little bit about those aspects of the show?
Suddenly everyone looks at me. Well, I think we've always sort of been ambitious, but this was a real chance to step it up. And we have an amazing VFX department. I'm going to name check with Nazca, Brian Fayette, and then season 3, Eric Hayden. And, a lot of it's on the page. But we on this show get a real opportunity in which to sort of completely add to what's going on. And we have a lot of sort of say and agency in terms of the battle stuff. And usually it ends up, Brandon does a full, it's called previs pass to the script. And it's usually long, but it's amazing, and it's own story and stuff. And they'll come to me, and then we'll argue about it for 2 weeks. I'll tell them all the things they're missing, and then he'll come back with something even more amazing, and then Seth will chime in, of course, and Seth's already sort of preceded. But it shows.